All right, today we're going to dive into Bitcoin and also give you guys some Apecoin news and also an analysis on Apecoin. I think this might be the first time we've done an analysis on Apecoin, so
yeah,
it's going to be fun.
excited. Yeah.
All right, my name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into TechPath. Of course, Evan Aldo here, our TA analyst extraordinaire. We're going to jump into a few things today, and that is, of course, the move on the other side. The other side may not be what you think it is. It's actually tied to Apecoin and their oncoming game series that is going to be pretty amazing, I think, when we look at what this project has done already in the NFT space. Obviously, it's run up the charts in terms of overall performance in the crypto side of things, but definitely now moving into the #1 position in the Metaverse, which is pretty amazing when you think about the tokens that it has surpassed. Mana, Sand, Axie, these are all studs when it comes to Metaverse. So Apecoin, and also now we're putting Apecoin into the index over on the CPI. So cool stuff there. Another thing too, when you look at Apecoin, I was looking at the Twitter feed right here. Yuga Labs now revealed launch date. This is happening on April 30th. So you can flip over to NFT Plazas a little bit to learn a little bit about what's happening. This is going to be either really phenomenal because Apecoin, and we'll jump into the charts here in a second. Apecoin has been pumping over the past week and now has broken the $20 mark, which was really where we were kind of pointing in. And now we may see it go a little bit further, but begins on 4:30. You guys be on the lookout for this. I'd love to get your feedback on as we start to see it. Let me kind of play that video, give you guys a little bit of a look here, because it kind of gives you at least a little bit of an understanding of what's happening there. Boom. This is the aspect, I think, of just the brand itself doing such a great job, one, with not only the brand IP itself, but being able to really kind of flow this into maybe a world-class AAA game that I think coming from Yuga Labs will be interesting. For sure. So Evan, let's get into Apecoin, the charts, because when you look at the NFT side of things, if you're an Ape holder, there's a lot of things happening on that ecosystem. But when people are buying the token, how do they track this one up?
So there's a couple things to look at that took me a while to figure out when you have a coin that's going parabolic, when you have a coin that's doing really well. So a few things you could look at here at the charts. So if you look at the market cipher chart, there's not too much data. We just have a lot of money coming in right here. This green is money flow, very high. Now, how do you catch good places to take profits? You could look at your Fibonacci right here. Let me, I could draw out a Fibonacci just to show you guys if you want to draw this out at home. Right here from our bottom to our top here, and you could get some points right here. And you could add in these points on your Fib, -272 and -0.618 right here. We're hitting a major point right here. And what I like to look at to catch tops is, especially on my 4-hour, I like to look in a situation where the money flow starts curving downward. This is where I like to get out and take profits. And this is how I've caught in a lot of things at their tops. And also you could see we're hitting a major point. Now, if you got in down here, if you made a killing on this, not financial advice, but I would highly recommend you take at least some profits right now. The next big point is right up here at about $25. If, say we come up to $25 and this money flow starts coming down, that's a major, 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 major signal to start taking profits. Right now, though, I could see us going a little bit higher. I'm not seeing any bearish divergences, nothing too bad yet on the lower time frames. You got one on the 15-minute, but it's not that bad.
The money flow looks really to be on a sharp incline here. So obviously, because of the fact that we've seen such movement, just in a short period of time for Apecoin from, I think it was 2 days ago, it was around 16, and now trading at 20. Okay, so on a coin or a project like this that is super volatile, we've got an incoming asset being their game release, which this is reacting much like what we see with other metaverse and gaming tokens. The idea of taking profits on the way up, something we do all the time. We talk about it on the channel quite a bit, but I think a lot of people kind of don't do that. They like to hold it out, thinking it's going to climb forever, and that's probably the biggest mistake you guys can make.
Yeah. But you got to realize anything could happen, and you don't need to really know exactly what's going to happen to make money. See, if you lock in profits, set a stop loss to entry point right now, if you're way ahead, goes up higher, you make a lot more money. Goes down, you still make money. You still made money.
Yeah, you made it. And that's just following your stop loss up the chart, really, in the sense of doing trades like that. Make sure and We'll put a link in the description below to Evan's courses, because he kind of gives you some good training tools if you're getting into either trading for the first time or jumping into something like Market Cipher, which is a little bit more advanced tool. But Evan can kind of show you the tricks of the trade on that. One thing to look at here on the sentiment side for APE, and again, this is something we've just added over into the CPI, which, as you guys know, if you're in our CPI for the Crypto Power Index, we just added Render Token and Apecoin this week. So this, of course, goes in, and we'll start tracking these on 3 times a week. And you can kind of see where it all started. We've seen ups and downs on Apecoin, but recently, this is what I'm most interested in. And this is something we talk about on the channel quite a bit, is when we start to see amplification overperforming sentiment. This was recorded yesterday on Wednesday as we filmed this on Thursday this week. And amplification had started to go above it. Now, this is pre-pump, so that would have given me an indicator. We already did pull sentiment for today. We're going to be dropping another sentiment score in the morning on Friday for you guys. But today, the sentiment was up again, and AMP was still overperforming. So back to Evan's point, this could still be on the way up for
Definitely.
Apecoin. So all things are pointing in that direction. Let's jump into, of course, the next thing, and that is Bitcoin. Evan, before we get into some of the news, right now, Bitcoin, for some of our viewers, many people may have never purchased Bitcoin. Without going into too much before we reveal kind of the charts, is this a good time to buy it?
Long term, yes, it's a very good time to buy. I would say this time to buy Bitcoin is very similar to what we saw in 2018 before you came to the absolute bottom. This is probably like buying, at 7K, 8K, maybe even 6K in 2018. So you may not catch the exact bottom, but it's still a very, very good place to DCA in. And on my chart, I could show you one strategy I have for long term. What I like to do is I like to DCA in, and this is, one of the biggest points that doesn't come around very often. If you look at your money flow here, when you're in the red, DCA in every Monday, because Monday statistically is the cheapest day for Bitcoin. Right now, we just confirmed back in the red. Now, the last time this happened, you came down about another 50% here, all the way from, 6,500 down to 3,100. So you didn't get in on the bottom here, but in the long grand scheme of things, you still made an absolute killing.
Sure.
So I think it's like that. For short term, though, I know people are going to want to know for short term, it looks good for short term. And the general pattern, I mean, look at this. We've been so sideways all the way since January. It would not, this is a sideways trend. It would not, surprise me at all if we just bounce up to 46K and then come down more. It's similar to what happened in 2018 before you had the big dump down towards your bottom at the end of 2018. Also, you can look right here. This is a bullish div. You see how these two green dots are above, this one's higher than this one. As price is coming down here, this could bring you up quite a bit. I could see us coming up to 46K. Also, the other thing on the 4-hour here, and I made a long trade based off of this. This is big. If you look at your money flow crossover here into the green, up here it didn't work. Doesn't work every time. But you could see these are strong moves. Look at right here, from this to all the way down here. That's about 14%. We could easily come up another 14% here. You could get up to 45, 46 in this area. When would that happen? You could do on Market Cipher, kind of get an estimate out. If we come up high in the green here, next few days, up to May 2nd, even longer, plus minus a few days.
Yeah. That's the thing that we get more and more comments on, is this the bottom? And the scenario is going to play, I think, in the situation you just pointed out, is that we could see sure, it could be the bottom for the next 10 days, or a cycle of when you could still trade this out if you're looking at short-term trades.
Yeah.
If you look at the news, and this is something, just a lineup of give you guys kind of an idea of the positive side of things that are happening. Hash rate hit a record high. This is, again, happening during price volatility. So for hash rate to continue to be at this pace and volatility, to a certain extent, we just did a video that will drop here on the channel about Kathy Wood's investment portfolio. And many of those investment portfolio stocks, which are tech stocks that you guys recognize all the time, Zoom, Teladoc, et cetera, have seen 80, 90% decreases since their all-time high. So it's not as if Bitcoin is not necessarily not volatile, but it seems to be leaning in similar to what tech stocks are doing right now. You also look at Bybit, which has, of course, made its move into Latin America. This will be a big advantage, I think, for Brazil. in the sense that Brazil is already a leading crypto nation, but I think we're going to see more and more traders coming out of Brazil, which is going to cause, some movement there, for sure. And then the other news that we talked a little bit earlier this week on, and that was the Fidelity move on the 401k, adding Bitcoin to their offering. The likelihood is with Fidelity making this move, we're going to see this happen on other 401k programs. I imagine all of the mainliners in terms of 401ks are going to have to do this to get competitive. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be any other way. The other thing that you talked about was this news article right here on Bitcoin, their NVT, which is the undervaluation reading since 2018. This goes back to what you and I talked about before the show. Explain this in the charts, because I think for some of our people, they may not necessarily understand what that means in terms of the value point of Bitcoin, where it is now.
So the fair value runs right now for Bitcoin. I can show you on the Bitcoin chart. It's this spider line right at, where is it? Right at 37. It gets a little bit higher every day, right about 36.8 right now. I think if we close, a daily candle below this, you're probably going to end up in the mid-20s and bottom out there. It looks very similar to, as I was showing you on the weekly right here, when we came into the red right in 2018, right before you came down. If you look at how the chart is right here, you're coming right into the red. Also on the total market, crypto market cap, this is another, if you're somebody who's more bearish and you're trying to wait a longer time to get in, look right here, how we were in October 2018. You're still in the green here, so you could wait, a little bit longer to start DCAing in, to get in. Wait till this goes into red, set a notification for this money flow crossover into the red. That could happen probably in a month, the quickest, probably 2 months. And that could signify a great, great buying opportunity, because it didn't take too long. It took about 2 weeks to really bottom out the last time we went into the red here in October 2018. I mean, me personally, I'm not going to wait that long. I'm trying to DCA in right now. But because there's always that possibility that we could turn bullish or something happens. But if you're somebody who's really bearish, you want to wait for this, I would say.
So, okay, so the network value to transaction in comparison to this, to say the overall crypto market right here, or right now, how far, if we look at the overall crypto market and the overall valuation, do you see any movement in essence that would be pushing Bitcoin? Sure, we may see an upside here in a short period of time, could hit the mid 40s.
Right.
But from a, kind of a trading aspect, if you're looking at maybe, like me, if you're looking at buying opportunities. So like right now, for instance, I just believe, the 38, 39, these are buying opportunities. If you're looking at, even if you're looking at long term, maybe you're looking at longing a trade right now. But the overall network value right now, if it dips below $1 trillion, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't think it will dip below $1 trillion. I mean, that's a big area. So what I've been mapping it out as is, you look at the last time we were like this on the chart. We came down 50. Yeah, I'm on the total market here. We came down about 56%. So if we come down 56% from here, it would bring you under $1 trillion. I don't think you're going to go that low, because over time, as market cap gets higher, especially for big ones like Bitcoin, Ethereum, those aren't going to dip as much. This is just going to be mainly altcoins getting really killed. I could see us going down. We may dip below the $1 trillion market cap, but I think the $1 trillion market cap is a major, major, major buying opportunity.
So 1 trillion would do it. We're edging it though. We're getting right near that market cap in essence of where this may go in the future. Do you think? Okay, so we talked last time we did our TA. You were looking at mid 20s potentially as the bare bottom of where Bitcoin could go. Depending on a lot of factors that come into play. Obviously, we'll see inflation, we'll see interest rate numbers coming up soon. CPI will get an update. Could be slowing. Maybe the Fed pulls off the gas. All those kind of factors play into this. If we see a stock market recovery, because many people look at the stock market right now as being at the bottom. At least but on the tech stocks. How much further could some
I think we could go a bit farther. The stock market looks awful in my opinion. The SPY looks pretty bad. I think we could bottom out with Bitcoin in the next few months.
Okay.
I think this is the time where we really could roll over. Look, in any bear markets are more complicated. Bears, they get on their hind legs sometimes. They go up, you know what I mean? It's more complicated. You get those little relief rallies, but I think we could go down a little bit farther in the next few months. I think when everyone stops talking about how Netflix crashed 70%, that's when the time to buy is in a few months. So yeah.
Well, getting ready. I mean, we just showed, like I said, we just showed a lot of this kind of just where some of the tech stocks had really fallen off.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 80, 90% just since their ATH.
Yeah.
So pretty interesting. Evan, let's take a quick look at Ethereum.
Yeah.
And see, because you know, we talked in pre-show, Ethereum wasn't looking as bullish. Why is that?
It's looking a little less bullish because I'm not seeing the money flow crossovers yet on our 4-hour. There is a lot of potential we could have this money flow crossover, like on Bitcoin. Also on the daily, I'm not seeing any actual divergence here.
Right.
You just have momentum waves coming up. Could be a fluke. Also, this curvature here with the green looks a little worse. And also, we look at Bitcoin dominance that keeps going up now. I think we could get into for the next few months as, you know, we generally come down with these little, you know, bullish bursts, Bitcoin starting to outperform Ethereum. So I could still see this coming up quite a bit. If you look at this green dot, I mean, we could pump up back 8% or something like this, 8% from here, maybe 8%, maybe even 12, 13, 14%, 3,300. But I'm not seeing it as strong at the moment. I'm just not seeing the, because you look here, I'm not seeing any money flow crossovers just yet. Even on the 2-hour, I'm seeing good curvature, but it could bring you up to, you know, I'm only seeing those like 6% increases here, like 6% right there would bring you up to from here about not even 3,100. So it looks a little not as strong.
Yeah, we need to probably get a video together for altcoins and take a look. Because there's going to be a handful of altcoins that probably do fairly well, at least in the bounce with Bitcoin. The question is where will some of these altcoins bottom out at, and will there be some value bargaining?
Yeah, there will be. There will probably be some
where
really good
altcoins
deals,
are going. So anyway, listen, guys, you are in on the podcast side of things. Thanks so much for listening in. We appreciate that. But the best place, of course, to get all this TA analysis is right here on the YouTube channel. Remember, we do these market movers. It's pretty simple. The idea is to give you guys a bunch of data, some insights, even our own sentiment analytics, but not financial advice. What we want you to do is go out and get your own research done. And best of all, pick the assets that work for you, because some people like doing trades like what Evan does, which are more short-term trades. And then some of you might be hodl, strategies. Buy Bitcoin and look for a 5 or 10 year hold plan. Both those strategies work, but you have to kind of find out what works best for you. And of course, if you guys want to reach me, it's out on Twitter @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.